The views and opinions expressed on Slam Radio PH are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of Wusa Studios, its management, other hosts, or advertisers. The shows produced by Wusa Studios can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and might include strong themes, images, sex, or language that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello!
Hey, what's up?
We are really
Here
live this
Yep.
time. Welcome to Slam Radio PH. It's another episode of your favorite basketball podcast. We already assume and have cemented that we are your favorite.
Yes.
If it's not, then sorry for you. Wala kang magagawa.
Oo.
It is now officially your favorite. Thank you very much for always joining us on a brand new week. My name is Nikko Ramos with Robi, Raya. The number is right there on your screen, 631-2264, if you must get in touch with us. Or you can Skype us at Wusa Studios.
Before anything else, you guys should check out Nikko's shirt right now.
T-Swizzle! T-Swizzle! I put it on and someone said, I was wearing it like this. And my friend said, oh, James Harden. Nope, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
That shirt is dope. I would love to have one.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm wearing it because it's a special day. I'm back on the podcast. Very happy to be here. Aaron Atayde will join us in a little bit as we talk all about basketball. And as usual, here on the podcast, we begin with a shout out. Robbie, is there anyone you want to shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to the white boy of the Mercer team
Okay.
that beat Duke. You know that white boy? Just search it. White boy from Mercer dances Nene.
Okay.
And usually, I'm not being racist here, but the people who dance Nene are black. But
Yeah, they're usually better at it than that.
and they're really good at it.
Right.
If you see a white boy dance Nene,
Yeah.
it's gonna be pretty horrible. But they won the game. They beat Duke. He has the right to do so. To dance the
I
Nene.
hate March Madness this year.
Wiggins, wala na.
Jabari's gone.
Jabari.
Syracuse is gone.
Joel Embiid is gone.
Is gone.
With Wiggins.
Yeah. I hate March Madness.
Yeah.
Anytime Duke loses too early, I hate March Madness.
Usually, the team that wins the national tournament is one of the best.
Right.
But you can't say outright that this team was the best team this year
True. They are just the best team during the tournament.
during that stretch.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's called madness. It's because really that's the only word for it sometimes, most especially this year.
You have all these teams coming out of nowhere beating big programs.
I doubt that there's a bracket still alive in this year's March Madness.
After Mercer beat Duke, only 0.0006% of all the brackets survived.
Meaning that there's like one guy, and that's the Mercer coach's bracket.
Yes.
Siya lang yun. Siya lang yung naglagay sa
Yes.
kanila doon. But, okay, so speaking of, just as a side note, your shout out to continue, for those of you basketball fanatics who are crazy about March Madness this year, you see Hoiberg? Fred?
Iowa State.
Yeah, Fred Hoiberg, formerly
Fred.
of the Indiana Pacers. That's him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a video of him dancing also.
Yeah.
In the locker room, he was trying to do a little shimmy. It was horrible. That and which team was it? Yung coach niya had a grandson who was copying him. Yeah,
I don't
a
know.
4-year-old grandson was always copying his coach from the Hawks team. So that's all the craziness happening in March Madness. But yeah, the white guy from Mercer does take the cake with Nene. Speaking of white guy, my shout out goes to Brian Butch.
Speaking of a white
guy, my shout out has to go to Brian Butch of the Meralco Bolts. 40 and 31 were his numbers last night. 40 points, 31 rebounds. When was the last time you heard anyone, anywhere, go 40, 31?
White guys with two first names are usually nasty. You got Brian Butch. Two first names.
Okay.
You got Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Two first names.
Two first names. Usually, if you have a white guy that has two first names, that white guy is a straight out stud.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're like 8'14", which is what
Yeah.
Brian Butch is. But he led this massive Meralco comeback last night, which we'll talk about more in a little bit. Himself and Josh Boone are my two shout-outs. Playing, because Butch quite possibly played in his last game for Meralco, but played like a consummate pro. Like a total pro, was an all-PBA performer last night. Best numbers I've seen in a long
40
time.
and 31.
40-31, coming back from 20 down in the second half to beat Air 21. Their import was also impressive, Wesley Witherspoon. Although I think Wesley Witherspoon learned the hard way na hindi ka pwedeng pumukpok in the first 3 quarters and gas out in the fourth, especially not in the PBA. Because that's what happened. So, you know what? Let's jump right into the action from last night's PBA. Meralco Air 21 with Air 21 replacing Irv Lamizana with a similar tall, skinny import, but
Yeah.
someone with unlimited range.
This
and
game,
could really
sayang for Air 21. Kasi I was thinking Air 21 was sort of taking a small leap
Right.
in this conference. Kasi you could see the improvement from last conference. Air 21 this conference, they're winning games obviously, but
Right.
they're the quality of their wins. Well, last conference hindi naman sila nanalo, but this conference the quality of their wins okay. And before Meralco's comeback, they were on a tight slope going
Right.
up.
Yeah, and even the quality of their losses. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you look at it, okay, it's a competitive team that lost, and they can live with it. Kumaga, they can sleep soundly at night, knowing, okay, we gave it our all. I think this, sayang, kasi I think this Air 21 team could have been fourth. Yeah, the winner of that game would have been solo fourth. Meralco's there in that spot now. But how good would it have been for Meralco, for Air 21, midway through the conference, through any conference, to be fourth by themselves in the PBA?
Like 3 games away from your last game in
Right.
the eliminations, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, obviously they look very much like a playoff team. They could really make some noise
Pwede.
in the playoffs.
But they have to take it away from Meralco. Meralco is the perennial Commissioner's Cup na bigla na lang susulpot.
True.
Dahil okay yung fit ng import. Nila.
I've always come on this podcast ever since we were in Aaron's living room, just recording this. I've always given the benefit of the doubt to Meralco because I love that coaching staff. I mean, I think that's one of the best, this is a coaching staff that works great together.
Remember last year in one of our maiden episodes, we picked Meralco to be at the parang 10th place of the Commissioner's
After
Cup.
they traded Sol Mercado.
Yes. And lo and behold, they got into the semis, I think, with Mario West, right?
Yes.
So yeah, you can never count out Meralco.
I don't know what is going to happen now that Brian Butch could quite possibly be replaced. I know it's hard to replace a guy who drops 40 and 31 and leads you emotionally to overcome a 20-point deficit, but that's going to be very interesting.
Let's compare a team like Meralco who steps up their game during an import-laden conference and a team like Rain or Shine who usually struggles with big imports in the Commissioner's Cup. Anong nangyayari sa Rain or Shine?
That's my big question for this conference. Rain or Shine, they look like themselves, but it seems as if when the fourth quarter comes, that second kick of theirs isn't there anymore. Like they're not able to put together that run to seal a game or to take away a game, and they haven't been themselves in the last quarter of most of the games that I've seen them play. However, in the first 3 quarters, they're still there. I mean, they're very competitive, they're very crafty, pero pagdating sa fourth, parati sila nauubusan.
Yes. Considering how deep Rain or Shine's lineup is, yung chemistry nila is very delicate. And when you put in an import who looks like Aaron, hindi pala. Gwapo yung import nila, diba? Sobrang gwapo.
Hindi ba mukhang rapper yung import nila? Alam mo, parang mukhang rapper, mukhang Tyson Beckford, parang may pagkaganon.
But I just want you to know that I've been here the whole time. Thank you guys for not talking to me. So,
I've been ignoring you.
Just like leaving me here the whole time.
Hindi ka nagsasalita eh.
Off cam, naka-off yung mic.
Oh, sabi ko, gago to mga hindi ako kinakausap.
Well,
hi.
Yeah. Okay, well, me and Robbie don't have an answer for it, but what is wrong with
Wait. I just want to say on record that was the most seamless what do you call that? Whatever do you call
Entry.
that? Entry
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
ever?
No one noticed that.
Yeah,
I was
not-
just
not
like,
at all.
No,
Not at all.
I'm just here. Hey guys.
Okay, Aaron, what's wrong with Rain or Shine?
What's wrong with Rain or Shine? I think I've been watching their games, and remember when we were talking about talk and text before, na nawala yung libog. Parang naubusan din ng libog tong Rain or Shine. I was talking to my brother about it last night actually, and the one thing that really stuck out was, do you think that the walkout might have been a little bit worse on the team? Like they might be second guessing themselves now. It's like the aftershock of it is all the losses that have been stockpiling, that they're just like, what are we doing? Like, is this really the way that we want to be? I think that might have taken some out of this team, that they're just like,
Para sa akin walang kinalaman yun. It's more of Rain or Shine kasi usually struggles with during the Commissioner's Cup.
With taller imports.
Taller imports. Why? Kasi usually they don't have a big guy na poste.
yeah,
Usually sila pick and pop eh. And ang big guy lang nila na local na usually posts up is Jerry Cruz.
yes.
And sometimes when you
Wearing a Taylor Swift shirt.
I know, right? Isn't it fantastic?
Okay, anyway.
when you disturb the dynamic na mas mabilis kasi yung ikot ng bola eh. When it's pick and pop, swing to the side, pick and pop again, compared to when you're just posting up an import.
Yeah.
So I think it's that. It's more of that.
I don't know. I see that they always have, especially with Kinyahan out.
Yes.
I think that I think people are looking around in the PBA and going, that's why they have JR Kinyahan. You know,
yeah.
I think that there's a lot of value to JR Kinyahan, and they're seeing it now, what with a lot of bigger players that they're playing against. Similar to how they missed Ronnie Matias when Joe Devance annihilated them in the post in the last finals. But no, I see how not just the walkout, but everything emotionally
In that finals,
that
no?
they went through last conference. It might be similar to how Talk and Text got tired of. I mean, I didn't want to say Talk and Text got tired of winning, but they got tired of playing at some
Yes,
point. The
yes.
Talk and Text players, they were just like, I'm so tired.
And I think Rain or Shine might be the other way around. I think they're tired of losing.
Yeah, and I think, emotionally.
Oo, diba?
Kumbaga, during that walkout, I think that Yang Yao put all his chips in. He was like, all in.
All in na to.
So, galaw dito. And it almost paid off for them because they almost won that game. But I think that it took so much emotion for them to put in all of their chips into that one last push, one last rally, na pati yung reserva nila into the next conference. It's not there.
Yes.
I still wouldn't want to play them in a best of what
Any
is it gonna
best of
be?
five, best
it's
of
a
five.
best of five semis. I don't want to see that team. But yeah, they're not looking the same, and it looks like they're emotionally and maybe a little bit mentally drained.
Yeah, and then I think, I mean, how do you get out of it? How do you fix a team that has been to the finals twice in a row? Thrice na? Oh, no, twice. Mig Coffee, the last two, right? How do you fix that? Do you add players? Do you take out players? Do you change the uniform, maybe?
Change the uniform.
Change
for
that
one.
might That's
work.
number
That
one.
might work.
For one.
That's number one. Maybe gayahin yung global port, change the uniform, put some
Lagyan yung sleeves.
I like the sleeves. I like it.
No!
I like
No.
I like the attempt.
Oo,
to be
it was a valiant
ballsy.
effort.
Yeah. But their warmers and their sleeve jerseys,
Parang
walang
wala.
pagkakaiba.
Wala.
Ultimo kay J-Wash maluwag. I don't understand it.
So what do you do?
I think we should not overthink about this. I think rain or shine is what 5 or 6 games into the conference, and for all you know, they can just flip a switch going into the quarterfinals.
It's like what Mig Coffee did last conference.
Yes. So siguro after like pag naka 8 games na sila, let's say if they
So
really,
dapat by next week.
yes.
Dapat by next Monday, papag-usapan na natin yung Sunday game nila. There's not gonna be any Sunday game, but by next week they should be okay.
They should.
They should be.
They
okay.
should be on the way to being
Okay. They need a big
playoffs
win.
ready.
I think it also has to be noted for Rain or Shine that they're hurt. They're hurt. Alex Nunes is hurt.
When you see Jonathan Oiloan playing some huge minutes, they're hurt.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Barraco's been playing better basketball than Rain or Shine.
True. I think Rain or Shine will say that too.
Yeah.
Kinyahan is hurt. All the wear and tear from that last fast. They're not playing as deep as they used to.
Yeah.
This is also a team that has 3 rookies. 2 of which, Jerick and Raymond, haven't really convinced a lot of people that they're PBA material yet, and they'll get there for sure. But the one rookie that Yang I think trusted the most in Nuiles isn't even healthy. So I think it's really a transitionary period for Rain or Shine. They can be afforded some slack.
Yeah.
But you're right. If
I
by
think
next
so.
week they haven't put this together, they should borrow the panic button from Ginebra.
This is their schedule for the next 2 games. On the 26th, it's against Meralco, and on the 31st,
They win
it's
that
against
game.
Global Port.
They win those 2 games.
Yeah, they need to win
They
those
need
2
to.
games.
Yeah, that's right.
If they don't win those 2 games, they have TNT, Air 21, and Barangay Ginebra to round out their run.
Yeah, because Ginebra is going to make a late run in
Yeah.
this conference. So that last game is going to be huge for
Yeah.
Ginebra. So Air 21, Meralco, and Global Port
Must win.
must win. Especially if Meralco, we were talking about it earlier, does change their import and gets rid of Brian Butch.
Which they shouldn't.
Which is crazy. That might be an opportunity for Rain or Shine to capitalize on it. So that's going to be 3 wins that they should get. We talk about all the time how in the PBA, Ali told us that you should beat the teams that you're
Yeah.
supposed to beat.
Yeah.
And Rain or Shine, now more than ever, has to beat those 3 teams and then slug it out with Talk and Text and maybe get one.
I think I was talking to Joe Devance about it, actually. And I was asking him how Tim Cohn does it. And he says before the start of every conference, Tim Cohn writes down every single team. It says, okay, we must beat this team. We must beat these teams. We should beat like these. And then we can lose to these. That would leave us at 6-3.
Yeah.
That should give us a record. That's how he does it at the start of
He's
I
very
like
realistic,
that. I like
Diba?
that.
Now, if we take care of these, we can lose these. It's not saying that we're gonna lose these, but it's fine. We have leeway
Yeah.
so that when we can turn it on in the playoffs. That's how Tim Cohn does it, and that's how he's been doing it for years. I think that is something that Rain or Shine needs to do now. It says, okay, we need to beat Meralco, we need to beat Global Port, we need to beat Air 21. We can drop that game to Ginebra, and maybe beat a Talk and Text team that might be slacking off by this time.
True.
Right?
And
You win 4 games.
I
You're
think-
five- you're 5-4.
Tim's able to do it because Tim's always had very strong veteran leadership
Yes.
on his team. Like that's a team with a lot of mental toughness, which is why I can see how Rain or Shine can apply it because if you're being coached by Yang, you have to be mentally tough. This is the first time Tim really has a lot of young guys in his core. What with Sanggalang playing very well.
Yes. Rookie of the year.
With Justin Melton playing very well. But apart from that, you still have Pingris, you still have Yancy, you still have James, PJ, and Baroka is now a full-blown veteran and is a full-blown leader on that team. So yeah, he can afford to say, we can lose these games and still not have his players say, okay, pwede pala eh."
Kanina we talked about Rain or Shine being mentally and emotionally tired. What's happening with San Mig Coffee? San Mig Coffee went through a grueling 7-game series against Ginebra and a hard 6-game series against Rain or Shine. Now they're 3-0.
They won the championship.
Yeah. Siguro high din yun. Feeling ko, baka.
Kasi
Adrenaline
usually if
rush.
you win a championship, may parang hangover eh na.
Well, we saw that with them at the start of the Philippine Cup. They had the hangover from last year's Governor's Cup. I think that they learned. I think they learned. They're like, okay, we last in the Philippine Cup, 14 games. Ito 9 games lang. Let's get the wins. Tapos pwede na tayo mag-relax ng konti. I think it might be the other way around.
Feeling ko ang nangyari, when they won the Governor's Cup last year, sobrang todo inuman. Kaya literal hangover. Ito, konti lang yung pagitan eh. Kaya
Hindi
uminom.
Nakapag-Boracay ba sila?
Hindi. NLEX lang.
Hindi.
Yung NLEX yung naka-Boracay.
Like nasa Boracay pa rin nagkagayon.
Hindi. Wala nang practice. Uwi na kayo. Gago. Alright. Moving on. It was also announced the All-Star team that will be playing against Gilas.
I like that. I like this discussion.
And let's give a little rundown. So the starting lineup will on the team is Peter Jun Simon, Joe Devance, and James Yap, Mark Baroka from the Mig Coffee Mixers. Joining them will be reigning MVP Arwin Santos and last year's Rookie of the Year Calvin Abueva, Marshall Lassiter of San Miguel Beer, Sonny Toss of Alaska, and KG Canaleta of Talk and Text are rounding out the All-Star bench. Joining starters, Greg Slaughter, Mac Barakael, Chris Ellis.
Ouch!
And they will be going up against Gilas Pilipinas.
Who's starting? Slaughter,
Ellis, Barakael,
Yap, and Baroka.
Okay, first of all, can I just say, no offense to anyone, right? No offense to anyone, for sure.
Everyone. Oh, okay.
Okay, but if anyone's gonna tell me right now that James Yap and Mark Baroka don't deserve to start in this All-Star game, you haven't been watching basketball. You have not been watching basketball.
Ako na magsasabi, James Yap deserves to start.
There you go! There you go!
Oh, shit.
Ako na magsasabi.
Chris Ellis.
Hell no! Barakael, hell no!
Oh, no way.
Greg.
Meron bang ibang choice?
Asi.
Why is Asi not on this team?
Greg pwede pa eh.
No,
Pwede
Greg
pa.
start. Okay, sige. Greg All-Star, fine. Starter, he's on Hinebra. It's the Yao Ming effect.
Sure.
Okay, Yao Ming effect.
Yao Ming
He had the entire China voting for him. Okay? So, that's how
Nadamay pa niya si Barakael tsaka si Ellis.
Ayun. Bakit? Steve Francis. Ilang years yun?
Tino
Shane
Mobley.
Battier.
Tino Mobley.
Si Shane Battier, parating, siya yung muntik na magsa-start na All-Star game parati.
Because he was on Houston. But let's talk about everyone else, okay? Okay, first of all, let's make our Slam starting five. Slam starting five, All-Star team. Last week we did our mock draft. The team was fairly okay. It could beat some teams. But our Slam All-Star team, who would be at center? Would it be Greg?
I'd pick Greg or syempre bawal si Bo, diba? So
Bawal.
So because Bo is on the other team. So just for dahil wala lang ibang choice, I'd pick Greg. And then I don't know what happened to Kagiwa, but just for the body of work, I'd put Kagiwa at small forward.
You're gonna give him a lifetime achievement
No,
All-Star
yes.
choice.
Wait, are you talking about the body because he's small? Really?
I said body of work.
Okay.
Hindi dahil mataba siya ngayon. I said body of work. You see in the NBA, like you see Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
This was, I think, last year. Kevin Garnett averaged, 13 points and 7 rebounds. Not at all deserving of
An all-star.
An all-star starting spot. But just to recognize his career, I'd put him, people put him in the all-star game.
No.
I'm doing the same thing with Kagiwa. With Yap, I think Yap is 40% body of work, 60%
Current play.
Okay. Baroka 100% current play.
Okay.
At the fourth spot, I'm putting Arwin Santos.
I
think we need to agree on a lineup. I think the three of us need to agree on a lineup.
Sure.
So, okay, do we start Greg?
just as a starter.
Yeah.
I don't mind Greg starting.
Okay,
My
sige.
only beef with the center spot is Asi should have been
Yeah.
there.
Okay, power forward. Who is our power forward?
I have Arwind.
Arwin.
I have Arwin mostly because people forget. Anytime Arwin plays Gilas, anytime he has a chance.
Yeah.
When Arwin plays with a chip on his
May
shoulder.
papatunaan siya.
Chong, nagwawala siya. Last year, during that All-Star game, he took it to Gilas.
Yes.
He took it to Gilas.
Okay, small forward. Obviously, we're not going with Mac Barcael.
Eto lang, just to put it out there, I don't think Barakael and Ellis, in the traditional sense of being an all-star, they don't deserve to be an all-star.
I mean, we're not saying that they're not good. We're just saying they're not all-stars.
Kasi
Starters.
iba yung all-star na traditional na NBA, in the NBA sense, and in the PBA sense na all-star. Parang you can compare, tingnan mo, sa senator lineup natin or sa politika, may mga nakakapasok na...
I knew he was gonna go there. I knew he was gonna go there. I knew he was gonna go there.
Na just by the just because being they're popular, nakakapasok sila, 'di ba? Ganyan ang Pinoy eh.
Don't get shot.
I'm not mentioning any names.
Ako small forward Marshall Lassiter.
Yes.
Marshall Lassiter.
I think Marcia and Greg should play every single minute
And Arwin.
against Gilas.
yeah,
Especially Marcia and Greg.
Oh, tama.
Marcia and Greg. Yeah.
Marshall, Greg, shooting guard, James Yap.
Yes.
Point guard is Mark Baroka.
Without question. for
Without
me.
question.
Pwede.
Yeah.
Pwede. Okay.
So it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't, apart from...
At least we were able to get the starters from players that are actually on the team.
Yeah. Apart from Mac and Chris, we were just replacing them with Arwind and Marshall.
Yeah.
And that actually makes more sense basketball-wise. Because
yes.
Arwin's an actual 4.
Yeah.
And
And
then...
then you put James at the 3, and then you put Marshall at the 2. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Backup center, Asi.
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 Yeah.
Asi.
Yeah.
Backup power forward. This is where it gets tough. This guy is gonna have to go up against Japet, Mark Pingris, and Renadel de
RDO.
Ocampo.
Ano pa ba? Di si Abueva, 'di ba? Abueva in an all-star game is like what? Having Patrick Beverly in a normal game.
Okay.
Kasi Abueva is like 5 times Patrick Beverly. So, alam na natin
that's
kung
why
gaano
Patrick
kakulit
Beverly
si
is
Patrick
in the NBA.
Beverly, 'di ba? So, I don't see Calvin Abueva like really toning it down in the All-Star game. Mangkukupal at
He
mangkukupal
was
din.
impressive last year.
Yeah.
Calvin was impressive last year in the All-Star game against Gilas. It was him and Arwin, strangely enough, because those guys don't like each other at all.
At all. They fake it. They're
But-
good at it.
Yeah. You remember the Calvin and James Yap interview from last year?
Yeah,
that was so good.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
I don't think Calvin's been playing at an all-star level, but
Tama yan,
if we're just putting together a team that's gonna challenge
Yeah.
Gilas, I'd like to see Calvin in there.
Okay,
just
small-
don't hurt any of the Gilas guys.
Yeah.
Calvin.
Small forward. Joe DeVance?
Joe, I like Joe.
Joe?
I like Joe there.
Joe, Barocco's finals MVP, but Mig Coffee loses that final series in 4 games,
Yeah.
in 5 games.
Joe
without
was the glue
Yeah.
of that championship team.
Let's see here. Backup shooting guard. Mark Aguiwa. Again, body of work. Do we give it to body of work?
Yeah. Kanina sinabi ko I'd put him in the starting lineup. So,
I mean, it is an all-star game.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that these vets are the best guys to play against Gilas.
Point guard. If
Whoa.
somebody says Alex Cabognot.
I would.
Chris Ross?
Yo, Chris Ross playing.
Chris Ross, maybe?
Chris
Maybe?
Ross playing like a. Oh, he's playing.
Oh,
like
Chris
an all-star.
Ross. Medyo, yeah.
Oh, don't
Okay,
hate
who
Ross.
else could it be? Could it be JV? Could it be Sol?
I'm
Could it be-
if you look at the All Filipino Conference, the Philippine
Yeah.
Cup last conference, should be Sol. Sol was averaging 20 and 7 assists.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Should be Sol.
Maybe Romeo.
Maybe Romeo.
Pwede,
Romeo would be
Romeo.
fun to see there.
Maybe Romeo.
He would be fun to see at an All-Star
Pwede,
game.
yeah.
Okay, so our final pick for backup point guard is
I'd pick Mercado.
Mercado. But he's playing in that Stalwarts game.
Against who?
Against Richard
Oh, it's
Del
gonna be
Rosario.
the mix. Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, I
that's the
don't know.
strangest thing about the PBA
Yeah.
All-Star.
Yeah.
I don't
I don't
I don't
personally I don't like
I
it.
don't like. I just want legends playing legends.
Yeah.
Just play the legends against the legends. There's enough of them.
Or we can have like a, I don't know. I think we'll do that next week, fixing the All-Star game. But
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
That's
Seoul,
a whole episode.
Yeah, Seoul. Okay, last 2 spots
Sunny Thaw should be there.
Sunny Thos.
Sunny Thaw should
for
be there.
for the reason that he's not on the lineup again because he was not allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Sunny Thaw should be there.
Okay, so Sunny and our 12th player.
Give it to Barakael.
Hmm.
Give it to Barakael. Oh, give it to Barakael.
Para hindi magalit sa atin yung mga Hinebra fans. I'd give it to Chris Ellis.
Okay, if you had to give it to one Ginebra player, okay, it's down to Mac Barakael, Chris Ellis, and Terence Romeo. Who do you give it to?
Chris Ellis. Kasi si Chris Ellis pang All-Star eh. Diba? You like
Kasi
dunk
you want someone
in the
dunking.
All-Star game.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I
Okay.
can see that.
All right,
yeah.
Although you have to give props to Barakael, who has slowly become the deadliest corner
Lights
three
out.
shooter.
Yeah, he
Lights
is
out
Bruce
from
Bowen.
three.
And in the PBA. Give me like one name right now that's better at corner 3 right now in this conference, even last conference, than Mac Barakael. It's tough,
It's
right?
tough,
I
yeah.
mean, if ever there is someone there, he doesn't come to mind
Canaleta.
immediately. Maybe Canaleta, but since he chucks up
Yeah.
so many shots, you don't
And
necessarily
he's
think
been
of him as
bad,
accurate.
Canaleta.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think he's bad. Talkatech's still winning. Yeah.
Dumunk siya.
Tsaka ang gusto ko kay Barakael pagka shoot ng tres or kahit anong basket, takbong mayaman eh.
Saka
Oo.
Melo, pare gumagano siya yung Melo.
Pang Hinebra talaga si Barakael.
Eh?
Yeah. But I would give it to Chris Ellis.
I'd
Yeah,
give
I
it
just
to
want to
Chris.
see some dunks. Maybe.
Yeah.
Everyone else on that team that we put can't dunk except for Greg and Asi
And Arwin.
and Arwin and Calvin. Hey, there's some dunkers on our team.
Yeah, but
I-
Calvin's not gonna get a dunk
No.
in the All-Star game.
I think
He
our-
can barely graze
I
it.
think our All-Star team is pretty fucking solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, could they tie Gilas again? You know what? Gilas lost last year.
Yeah.
Gilas lost last. They
Yeah.
got bailed out last
Yeah.
year. They got bailed, but it was good for them.
Yeah.
It was good for them.
It was a
because-
good. It was a good game. It was a good game. I enjoyed watching that.
Yeah.
I was in Boracay watching that.
Okay.
At least this one is
I
gonna
have
be in
so
Manila.
I have so many thoughts, but it's all for the fixing the
Yeah,
PBA
let's
All-Star
fix.
weekend.
Let's
that
fix
should be
them.
for next week.
PBA All-Star
Hindi
weekend
tayo
next week.
matatapos if you do that.
Moving on. Last segment of the show. Did anybody see anybody?
Who would you see?
Well,
Who
for
did
me,
I
I got
see?
one. I really didn't see anybody, but it's may tahe eh.
Okay.
So I was playing pickup basketball last Saturday at White Plains in my village.
Now, Barangay Ginebra, you know where he lives. You know where he lives. Get him.
And I play with this little kid. His name is Mino Generoso.
Okay.
He's purely Filipino, but is the son of Rafi Revis.
Okay.
I
And
thought he was purely Filipino.
yes, stepson.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think
Okay.
and he's a Soto. So parang so when he came to the court, he was wearing a Calvin Abueva jersey.
Nice.
So he was like doing this. Nang aasar
Okay.
eh. Medyo may topak siya eh. So, tapos,
Huy, bata yan!
tapos dumating yung boy nila.
Cool.
Dumating yung boy nila. Pinauwi siya. Kasi
Oh.
tinatawag ng nanay.
Okay.
Pagbalik niya, iba na yung jersey na suot.
Revis na.
Nagalit daw si, apparently, Danica Soto was
Okay.
in their home.
Oo.
Apparently, nagalit daw kasi
Naka-abueva.
naka-abueva.
So, binigyan ng pingris.
Hindi Pingris, but it
This
was
is
a
something
different
else.
jersey.
What the fuck is a San Mig Coffee relative?
Yeah.
How do you even get an Abueva jersey?
Kasi,
Hey, I mean, I would have
I'm-
an Abueva jersey. Shit. Imagine one of those throwback old school Alaska Abueva
Yeah.
jerseys. That might be fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
but like, how do you pull that off?
I don't know.
If
How did he get out of the
Yeah.
house?
That's strange. Okay.
Interesting.
Who
did you see? I'm
Well,
trying to think. I can't
Mine
remember
was wildly embarrassing because I
Okay.
played in the MVP Olympics.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I
Yeah.
played in the MVP Olympics. In our first game, we played against Smart,
Mhm.
which is a horribly loaded team. Chong si Uping Sumalinog kalaban namin. Did Uping not just graduate?
Oh,
Did he not
kakasali
just
lang
win?
yan ng PBA draft.
Did he
Kakasali
not
lang
just
yan.
win 5
Yeah.
UAAP championships?
but G is there, I think.
Baji
Yeah.
is on the same
Yeah.
team. Kimpo is on that team.
Arao?
Irapuico is their center. Ford Arao is playing for a different team. But I want to give some shine to Yuri Escueta.
Yun.
If you remember Yuri
yes,
Escueta.
definitely.
What a point guard, Yuri Escueta.
I was not saying that when he was playing. I was not saying, "Uy, what a point guard, Yuri Escueta." Just putting it out there. But when you told me this story, I was like, okay.
So Eric Reyes is our coach, right? And Yuri Escueta's killing us. He's killing us, right? So coach goes, okay, tambak na tayo. Nikko, pasok ka ulit. Pahirapan mo naman si Yuri. Huwag din masyado madali pa ba yung bola. Pressure mo, one man. Yan. Huwag mo agawan, pahirapan mo lang. So, pinasayaw ako ni Yuri Escueta. As in sayaw. You know how, you know on Vine or on Instagram,
Yeah.
there's like someone who always falls and then tags someone
Oh.
who you can cross over. Ako yung video na yun. Right, left. Pagbalik ko, hahabol ako ulit. Left, right. Basta, wala akong laban. And then we played, the next game we played, si Yusuf Aljamal, active siya on that team.
Yusuf Aljamal.
Pati si
okay.
Jeff Sanders. So,
Yes.
needless to say, talo ulit kami.
Pero umabot naman kayo quarters.
Quarters,
Kaya,
kampi ko si Cesar Catli. Can I just say, Cesar Catli and Vic Epres.
Vic Epres.
Wow! I swear, it's like the collegiate all-star game from 8 years ago.
Vic Epres is as classic as a
Wow.
name
Oh
as
my
Melvin
God.
Mamaklay.
Wow.
Vic Epres is the shit.
Wow,
Vic
dude.
Epres.
And can I just say that I have never met a guy nicer than Cesar Catli. I have literally never met a person nicer than Cesar Catli. 1, yes, batak pa rin siya. 2, oo, shooter pa rin siya. And 3, long hair na po siya. As in, sobrang haba, naka-ponytail.
Wild.
But yeah.
Pang machete na yan.
Yeah, he was our star.
I guess my who did you see also comes from the MVP Olympics. I hosted the executives 2-ball challenge game, and right after it was the Maynilad versus Smart game. So it's the first time that I saw the Maynilad team. Puta, they had PJ Barua.
Yes,
dude.
yes. yes,
What
they did.
the hell?
PJ Barua, Magnum Membrere was there.
Yes, they do.
Because he's still, like, they took him off of the inactive list of talk and text so that he could play for Maynilad.
Wait, all these guys somehow work for MVP,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes.
Puta, when I saw PJ Barua, I was like, wow, this dude is my classmate. And he's fat now. He's fat now. Grabe, nagulat ako. Parang, sabi, Aaron! Kasi we were pretty close back in college. And he was like, Aaron! I was like, puta, who the fuck? Oh my God, it's Barua. Pare, ang laki niya. Ang laki niya.
Hi, PJ.
Ay, PJ. Pucha, PJ.
Marunong pa rin.
Ay, hindi ko na pa rin yung game eh. Walis na ako, pero puta.
I'm
mukha
sure.
Mukha naman.
Kasi pinatay kami ni Baji eh.
Ay, puta, kung marunong pa si Baji, pare. 8 years na sa college si Baji. Puta, hayop yun. Puta, iba yun. Iba yun.
And Ryan Gregorio apparently is an excellent
Gregorio,
shooter.
excellent shooter. That had to be it. He made 8 straight 3-pointers.
Wow.
I know he could play.
I didn't know he was a shooter, though.
I didn't know he was that good.
Fuck, even Coach Ronnie was like, magaling talaga yan. Okay yun.
Oh, by the way, to Patrick Fran, head coach of Meralco, in the MVP Olympics, Ronnie Magsanok and Javi Nunag, thanks for heckling me for all the 5 minutes that I had of
seryoso?
playing time. Pagpasok ko pa lang, pag dribble pa lang ako, oy, double, oy, traveling, oy, foul! Thank you very much. As if you guys needed that.
Yeah, because it's not like
Because I'm only playing 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And I
and-
only put up 1 shot.
And they had Yusuf Al-Jamal
And Jeff Sanders.
Diba? Okay lang naman eh. That wraps up the show today, but also inviting everyone, make sure on Saturday we will be at the Slam Rising Stars.
Slam Rising
team,
Stars.
go, the black team.
That's
Hi,
Punks.
Punks. Yo, I am Team Punks all the way. I believe in
30.
I believe in 30. I believe in 30 and Arvin are on the same
Yeah.
team, right?
No.
No,
Kalaban sila.
Arvin and
Arvin, the
Prince.
Big Chill.
Arvin
The
and
big-
Prince are
the big chill.
The Big Chill.
Kasi chill na chill
We
yung
said it
tao.
here first.
Yes.
Arvin, the Big Chill Tolentino.
Done.
If you see him play next in Rising Stars or
You will understand.
next season, you will understand.
Wag ka lang maratel pagdating mo sa UAP, ha? Don't ruin the nickname. Fucker.
Yes, we'll see you there. I think it will be aired on April
29.
29.
Or 20.
April 20.
April 20.
That's when it's airing on Fox Sports. But if we're gonna be there live on Saturday, we'll try and see what we can do. Hopefully we can get something done for you guys. But we will be talking about it next week. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter at @TheRealRobbie Raya, at Nikko RMS, at Aaron Ataide. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
T-Swizzle.